We all know Kathleen as a fiercely independent and strong woman. These traits began very early in life when she, as a teen in the mid-60s, had a newspaper delivery route, which ultimately stayed within the family for many years, being handed down to all the rest of us siblings over time. Kathleen is the first of the 6 Gannon kids, and all of us followed her examples of strength and independence throughout our lives. Next, she moved on to becoming not the good humor man, but a very rare good humor woman, bicycling around our Long Island beach towns with her ice cream cart. She also continued to buck traditions by moving out and going to college and entering the then still male-dominated banking industry, where she was a rising star in commercial real estate banking in New York City. She even took to smoking cigars at times with her mostly male colleagues. It was this career that ultimately brought her to Florida, where she settled in Boca Raton. Soon after, a good friend in Boca introduced her to the Chapel of St. Andrew's faith-seeking program. And the rest is history. Over the next several years, Kathleen transitioned away from banking and began working at the Chapel of St. Andrew's. For Kathleen, it became much more than a job. It was her passion. On the brink of her decision to go to seminary, Kathleen suffered a very serious illness that took a full year out of her life. After that, she waited a number of years before again choosing to go to seminary, ensuring it was for the right reasons beyond her life being saved. Fast forward to 2005. Once ordained, Kathleen was thrilled to join St. Paul's Episcopal Church. She was happy to be home amongst her friends, family, and the Florida sunshine. She was ready to embrace the St. Paul's family, where her many contributions are being celebrated with everyone at this dinner tonight.
Manawanatupko involvoe.
Buonas Tupui. Hello. Well, we got some interesting stories to tell about Kathleen, but the greatest thing is that we met her a number of years ago at the Chapel of St. Andrews. We remember when she was a parishioner, when we were sent out to Madagascar and later on to Kenya. Great person. And then the Lord called her into the ministry. She was involved with the many people that were being called out of the chapel, and the Lord called her. And it's really exciting because we were able to see her come when she was in seminary. She brought a group from the chapel with Will and Cheryl, and they came to Madagascar. They were the first missionaries.
We've come a long way, Kathleen. We love you. We support you in every way. We've almost traveled the globe together in northern Kenya, Madagascar. You have been a part of our support system, and we have been a part of your support system since the very beginning.
And so we thank you. We thank you for coming. I remember the times when we were carrying the bricks. I don't know if you remember that, but the bricks that when we were building this lay training center for the Diocese of Antananarivo, I remember going, we were all sweating, we're carrying all these bricks and so on. And you were right there with us because you wanted to be part of that foundation. You wanted to be part of the building of that building. And now it's been used by thousands, tens of thousands of people. And so we thank you for being part of that. And we thank you for sharing the message about the McGregors. But that's part of who you are, isn't it? That you're always encouraging, you're always lifting up, and you're always seeing the best in people. And so we thank you for that. And we ask for your blessings. We want the Lord to bless you mightily, continue to bless you, because you've been a blessing to so many other people. So we want to thank you. We love you. Take care. God bless.
Velume!
Hey KPG. So I'm thinking about you in 60-degree weather with a hat, scarf, gloves, and a coat.
Are you ready to go to Carrabba's?
You know, I think back to the time when you were sitting in my office. I was with Chris Herron, and we were in the process of searching for a curate for St. Paul's Church. And the vestry and I had had significant conversations about that, and there was a pretty strong consensus that we were going to look for a priest who had had years of experience as a priest. But I also thought it was important to talk to the folks that were in the process from the Diocese of Southeast Florida, among whom you were one. And so the day came, we'd interviewed, I think, 5 or 6 people, Chris and I, for that position. And the day came for you to interview with us. And you sat in my office and we went through an extensive interview. And it was a stunning thing because you were our last interview. And we had not been sold on anyone that went before. And as we asked the questions that were of concern to us and the things that we thought were needed in a curate, and you began to respond and develop your answers, we in our minds were clicking off every box that we had that we were looking for. And toward the end of it, I looked at Chris Herron and he looked at me, and we both kind of shrugged our shoulders because we knew that you were the one. And then you said, well, I know you're probably just interviewing me as a courtesy because I'm a member of because I'm part of the diocese. And of course, there was some truth to that. But I said to you, lady, in the course of this interview, you went to the top of this list. And in fact, that was true. And I ended up calling you to the position. And it was a great call.
I remember that story also. I remember also already knowing that you were going to be the one. I told Chip that we had worked together before in the diocese. You were so well formed at the Chapel of St. Andrew, and you just had this thing about you that you already felt like you belonged at St. Paul's. And I remember when you arrived and when we got ready for your ordination, and everything was going along so well, and then this little hurricane came, and it was just one of those unbelievable things as you're planning for things in life, and as we all know, you plan and God has another plan, and a hurricane pops up, and I can still see you standing in the church with this roll of Visqueen in your hand, this big thing of plastic so we could get the water out of the church, with Bill Hurd and other
scissors.
folks. Yep, and with scissors in your hand and just ready to cut this, and making the comment that they had never prepared you at seminary for all of this, and you continued over the years to really live into that.
And to be Plan B person, right?
Always Plan B. We lived in Plan B, and I always remember you. And I'm sure as you're sitting there now, you have pearls on. If you don't, the world is probably coming to an end, and your nails are done just so. But I also remember more than anything you sitting either in the courtyard or in the little office way, just praying with people, no matter who they were, whoever walked through the door, you were ready for them and listened to them.
And I'll just end on saying what a great blessing you have been to St. Paul's and to us over the years. I also had to remember that the chasubles, and they never had chasubles at St. Paul's before I got there. And after you were ordained to the priesthood, we had to, I think we put Velcro in the sleeves so that you could wear the same chasubles that had been fit for me. But you managed to look really good in them and to celebrate with dignity and grace. And that's really who you are, grace. So God bless you and thank you for your phenomenal ministry to us all over these many years. We are deeply, deeply grateful.
Love you lots. Sleep well. Sleep fast.
Hello, Kathleen. You know, if memory serves me right, you began your ministry as a priest at St. Paul's about the same time that I began my ministry as a priest at St. Matthew's. Kathleen, you always stood out because you were that person that addressed situations, whether good or bad, in such a pleasant and considerate way. You were always that go-to person. You know, we did a lot of church stuff together. Remember when we worked with our storytelling teams and with our visit from the St. Thomas Gospel Choir from Philadelphia? You are loved by the people at St. Matthew's because you always had faith in what they could do. St. Matthew's members can never forget you for that. Another thing was that I could always call on you to help no matter what was happening. Even though you always had a lot of stuff going on, and you did, but you never refused to help. And let's not forget that you were always willing to drive wherever we went. Thank God for that. To Miami, to diocesan events, for deanery meetings, and least we not forget our trip to Key West for a convention. That I'll never forget. And in case I've never said it before, I thank you so very much for always being the designated driver. You know, you are a person that is admired for your courage and your outstanding achievements. That's definitely you, my sister. You make every situation better just by being a part of it. If it's something you believe in, you're willing to give your all to make it work. Well, happy retirement, such as it is, and thank you for all you do. I pray that God will always bless you, and I love you. Keep up the good work.
Morning, Kathleen. I am sending you greetings and congratulations from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I thought I would choose an appropriate background as I moved back here and I hadn't seen snow and ice for well over 10 years living in Florida. Lo and behold, this last winter on Cape Cod, Massachusetts has been the worst in the last 10 years. So I'm bringing you greetings and congratulations to one of my most favorite partners in crime. I am wishing you all the best in your well, you're not in your new career because you've been there for a while, but best in continuing your career as a chaplain. And I'm very thankful for the many, many memories that we had together. And I'm only going to use one example because the freezing icy tree in back of me reminds me of a story that you were very proud of when you first moved to Florida. And although you are a very, very resourceful ex-banker or former banker and a very resourceful clergy person, when you did get your car in Florida, I think you failed to realize that there was actually heating in that car. So you were freezing because Florida was cold when you moved there. You weren't aware of the fact that you could keep warm in the car by using your heater, but you finally found out that there was a heater in a car, as there are in all cars, and you finally used it to warm up. So that means that you are a great resourceful person. And that's what I remember about you. Very resourceful. You were able to adapt to just about any situation very graciously. And I can attest to that as my high church upbringing with a lot of very mystical rituals that I seem to have come up with at St. Paul's. You adapted to them very well. We were a great team. I miss not seeing you, but I know that you are very successful in being a chaplain at the hospital. And I send you my blessings and my greetings, and greetings to all people and all friends at St. Paul's. God bless you all. Congratulations, Kathleen, on this celebration. Bye now.
I just want to say thank you, and you are God sent. You gave me back a piece of my childhood when I was close to losing it. The transition was not easy at all for me, but you were very accepting and willing with an open heart. It speaks volumes to your character. I appreciate the life that you have given me and my growing faith is solely due to your faith and your actions. You are an amazing woman, Kathleen. I'm blessed to have you in my life and thank God for you all the time. I love you. Yolene.
Kathleen, congratulations. I remember when I first met you and realized this vertically challenged ball of energy was going to be a lot to handle, but it worked out pretty well. I do also recall you saying that you wondered if I brought a translator with me so the snowbirds would be able to understand me. In all seriousness, Kathleen, congratulations. And it's about time. I know there's a lot of reasons why this celebration was delayed, but you are so worthy of celebrating you for all of your service, not just to St. Paul's, but the whole community of South Palm Beach County, Delray and Boynton and beyond. You've been a blessing to so many people. And as I came in to be an interim rector, I could not have asked for anyone more qualified than you to be right there by my side, and having someone that knew the people could give me the warning that if you make that change, you better be ready for this. And we were able to do a lot of really great ministry together in our 2 short years together. Really did enjoy our time, but I'm just especially happy for you and for the people who are there to celebrate you. I just want to add 2 more things that I learned from you. One is this great phrase that you taught me to say, and that is not for nothing. And the second one is that and whatever anybody's having a bad day, if they're sick or they're just struggling in life, the one thing you can do for them is go get them soup. And I still do those things to this day. Congratulations, love you, wish we could be there with you, but this is such a well-deserved honor for you, and I'm honored to be your friend.
I exist to be a builder of divine communities. Do you remember writing your mission statement in our sacred circle years ago, Kathleen? I do. Anyone who knows you, even without knowing this purpose statement, knows you've been on mission doing mission critical work for years. And here are just a few proof points. If we think about it, we all have trademarks, something we're known for, or something people see us with at all times. Can you guess what I'm thinking are your trademarks? Who said pearls? Absolutely. And we love them on you, Kathleen, don't get me wrong. But who knows that before they were pearls, there was a clipboard. Far less glam, but much more pragmatic. Why the clipboard? Well, because you were always signing people up for things that we might have first been a mere commitment on our calendar that we really didn't know could we make time for. Somehow you knew were important opportunities for spiritual growth. And because you never pushed or pressured, just gently matched us up, we listened to your voice calling us in and sending us out. And then a weird thing would happen. Somehow God would clear our calendars, and that half-hearted commitment gained a life and sometimes a ministry of its own. I can attest to that personally. And speaking of voice, did you all know that when Kathleen taped the message on the answering machine back in the day at the Chapel of St. Andrew, there were people who would call in just to hear the sound of her voice? It's a true thing. I always thought if this thing being a priest didn't work out, Kathleen, you would be a phenomenal voice actor. But of course, as we all know, this thing being a priest did work out. And your non-anxious presence has grounded us in times of personal chaos, catastrophe, and life-changing events. We're all here, Kathleen, because your rare gift as a non-anxious presence has made a difference in our lives. And I, for one, am grateful. But then there are times when even the calmest person can be challenged. And so I learned this little trick from you, EGR. Whenever I was exasperated or at the end of my rope with someone, I would hear your voice, EGR, extra grace required. And I would take it back a notch or so, depending on the person. And then when they were on my last nerve, I would scream in my head, when are they going to stop? And I would hear your voice again, soon and very soon. And I could recenter. As God would have it, another phrase I picked up hanging around with you, EGR is often called for when standing up for what is right and true and just. And we know we can count on you for this always. You're a beacon of light for people in developing nations. You're a soldier for equity and justice in our own backyard. And you're a voice at the table, standing up for a friend. The world is a better place because of your courage, strength, and voice, which can be assertive in its own very calming way. Like when I was sitting at a round table of clergy and parish representatives years ago, the diocesan conference in Texas. And I don't know if you remember this, Kathleen, but someone at our table looked me up and down and asked in a loud voice, is she one of us? I froze. But you, who were sitting next to me without missing a beat, looked this person square in the eyes and said, yes, of course she is. Witness, feeling of belonging, building divine community, what we all need and what you're exceptionally good at because, of course, it's your mission. I've come to the conclusion in this life that we're just walking each other home. And I thank you, Kathleen, for being my companion on the way, building divine communities as you go, ensuring each of us knows we are loved by the creator of the universe and that we belong. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of God's hand.